life, everybody.
Yeah, guys, welcome back. Good to be back. Hope you're having a good week. This guy's about to head off tomorrow morning, early to States, huh?
I am up around 6 a.m. getting picked up on the way to the airport. 6-day trip, very fast, but business calls over there, but so quick because business also calls here. We're in the height of the busy season right now, so we have events, a few events every week now. Corporate gifting or wine tastings or whatever it is. We're packed. We like it that way because that means the vacation's on its way.
Coming around the corner.
Exactly.
We wish you a safe trip. Yeah, like you said, you know, when you're living in a different country like we are over here in China, you kind of operate on a different schedule. December happens to be our busy season. It happens to be the few months before their actual huge holiday, and so a lot of our sales are happening right now.
Yeah.
And so it's not really a time, it just works out like that. It's not really a time that we can take off.
Yeah.
But like you said, we'll be taking off when Chinese New Year hits.
Yeah, I mean, even one of these dinners we're doing, we're providing wine, so like a Christmas dinner on the 25th, and every person attending doesn't have the 26th off or even the Christmas off. It's a late dinner.
Christmas isn't off here.
Yeah, it's just a different culture, different holiday. You just have to adjust. But we definitely have a good Christmas though.
That is definitely one of the things that you miss when you're living over here is the holiday spirit.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen like a few Santas, but other than toy little Santas, but other than that, nothing special.
Yeah, definitely missed a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we do have some good holiday wine.
Yeah, that's true. Some nice Chardonnay out of California. We won't go into spiels about it, but it's good, so that's the important part.
Yeah, guys, just so you're wondering, we don't pop these bottles just for the show here. We actually shoot and film episodes for our membership site over here in China, and so these bottles are open. We just finished filming for that, so decided to continue right on in. We landed on an interesting topic that we want to discuss with you guys.
Definitely.
Also learned this week that our good friend Sean Ogle from Location 180 is actually going to be coming out here next month.
Yeah, very exciting. We've done some stuff with him before earlier this year, and it looks like we're going to carry that on to 2013. Few ideas and projects in the work with him that will definitely pan out spectacularly because he's great and we're pretty good ourselves. So we're definitely excited to see where it goes because he's a very smart guy.
Well, it's exciting too because he's definitely well known in the entrepreneurship circles, and he's getting into China. He's going to be in the next year, 2013, definitely going to be starting some businesses up over here. So
yeah.
I'm excited for that. It's his second time over here, so
yeah.
he's not a newbie, but it's good to see people making return trips.
Yeah, it's always great to see after the initial trip a return trip because it's like they understand there's potential here, so why not come on back?
Definitely. Guys, today we're going to be talking about a topic that we really just were talking about and shooting the shit with each other earlier today, and because we have been here for 2.5 years and we've, for the most part, been building our wine business. And that by no means is a fast business, right? It took us a long time, took a lot of capital to get started, and so it got us talking about, we hope that doesn't create, imaginary barriers when people are thinking about China. And so the title of our post today is, it's okay to get...
What is it? No.
It's okay to start small in China.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. Like, with our wine business, this is a very long-term growth business. It's not one of those quick, flip on like the Ecommerce or one of those, something you could start up in a few months be seeing the revenue from. This is something where you build and it takes a long time and it's on the ground, and we happen to go for it and it's gone well for us, and we're still growing it.
It's taken a long time though.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been a long time coming. It's not like we just started making episodes about when it was successful. We started before that.
Exactly.
It continues to grow, but most important thing is China's so big, it's okay to start small, pretty much.
Well, yeah, we were talking to ourselves too and realizing, like, man, it's been so long. Like, we've definitely had some trying periods, where it was like, we've been working at this for a year. Like, where's all the money? Where's this going? And your confidence definitely tends to waver. Or did we choose the right path? This is such a big market. Are we in the right niche?
Yeah,
are we spending money in the wrong places? And so, your confidence tends to waver. But we had definitely a really good support system to keep us on track, to keep the your nose to the grindstone, really. And so what we were realizing is that's definitely not the way you need to get started in China. That's kind of one of our faults, is we always think so big.
Yeah.
All of our ventures that we've undertaken have been long-term, long-growth ventures that
big ideas.
Yeah, big ideas that we undertake, that we get super excited about, and that we hold on to and we really pursue. but that is not the only way to get into China.
Yeah, I mean, even something...
Nor the recommended way.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like what he just said, something we're looking at right now is, it's like it's a national, it's something that will eventually go national, what we're building right now. But, you know, when you look at it, focusing on a certain area like Guangdong province where we are, that's more than enough to get started. We don't have to develop a strategy to go nationwide in China. It's just too big to really just attack it all at once, because then it's just going to be messy and everywhere, and there's going to be so much more to focus on rather than just, you know, starting small and then building like smartly and safely, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, like you said, you don't need to aim so high right when you're thinking about China. I mean,
but it's definitely easy to, because when you see the potential here,
it's easy to. But you know, if you're starting off in your entrepreneurial journey, it's important to get some small wins under your belt. You know,
yeah.
Get that confidence up, get some bucks rolling in before you look at tackling the whole marketplace. And I mean, especially a lot of people that haven't been to China and things like that, they don't know what to get into. Yeah, you know, they're hearing from guys like us that are importing a lot of wine. I mean, that's an expensive thing to get into. So we don't want to give off the impression this is what needs to happen if you're going to get into China.
Yeah, of course not.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, we think importing anything is a very, very it's very quickly growing here in China. But that doesn't mean that has to be one of the like you said, first things we jump into. It's just
not what we jumped into.
Yeah, exactly. We jumped into the more traditional e-commerce, online sourcing stuff as well. And but like you said, there's so many. We always talk about a lot of opportunities here, and some people kind of get, I guess, you know, spread too thin. You're chasing 5 different opportunities and slowly building each one of those instead of focusing on one, you know, getting that win under your belt, and then focusing on the next one, because it'll take it out of you if you're trying to do too much, especially here in China.
Exactly. I mean, even going farther than that, taking it farther and going, you can start at 0 in China. You don't even need to start small. You can start at 0. Okay? Because most people probably don't know a niche or something that they want to exploit here in the market. Yeah. They don't know what problem that they want to fix. So it's okay to come here and start at 0. A lot of the times we talk about there's a lot more advantages to coming to China than just finding the opportunities for your business, especially right off the ground. First off, it gives you a lot lower expenses.
Yep.
Okay? Because the expenses are so much lower, it gives you a lot of time freedom to look for new businesses. And of course, one of our favorite topics to talk about is networking. Yeah. Networking is huge over here, and that's one of the things we really want to portray to all those guys out there that are listening, is that the main thing is to look at China as an opportunity. If you don't know where you want to start, you don't need to be starting with some huge idea. That's not the reason you need to come over here.
Yeah.
The reason to come over here is to see where it will take you.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't even need to be doing business here on the ground in China. When we say start small, you could say start with an e-commerce business in the States.
Yeah.
Use some of that revenue to get over here in China.
Yeah, come do some sourcing projects, come do something where, I forgot who said it, but it was something about, even if you start small, you start to understand the culture and how they do business, and this is going to pay huge dividends when you do take on your huge project. You know what to expect, you know, the way that they barter, the way they do contracts, or the way they negotiate. That's all learned through starting even on the smallest project. I'm talking, you know, something very, very like minimal, I guess, something online, a small shop, sourcing a small amount of goods. You still understand how the Chinese think and they're doing business.
You're learning.
Yeah, you're learning, and you take that knowledge, apply it to when you do your bigger goal or your bigger business or your reach business, and then you just keep that in the back of your head, and you saved a lot of time and money instead of just jumping right into something huge.
Exactly. That was spot on. Yeah. That was really nice. And I think that's really important. A lot of things that we want to get across to everyone is don't create those barriers to entry. You know, and that's really what we don't want to do. I know we've gotten some questions in the past. It's like, well, what if you don't come from a family with a lot of money, or you don't, you know, have a lot of money to get started in China?
Yeah, of course.
That's totally okay. You don't need money to get started here. I mean, we talk a lot about consumer spending growing here in China, which it is, and it's growing really fast. You don't need to be importing physical goods to get involved in consumer spending.
Yeah, that's lengthy and expensive.
Yeah, like we've learned, consumer spending happens all over the place. You know, look at the internet. You get involved in e-commerce everywhere else. Why not get involved in the internet membership sites over here?
Yeah, e-commerce in, what is it, Taobao or something, does more than Amazon and eBay combined.
Yep.
Or some crazy statistic like that, where when you think of Amazon and eBay, the biggest e-commerce sites in the world, and then you think of Taobao, the one locally here, is doing more than those sites combined. I think that's what I heard. I'll look
I think that's true.
Check. Yeah, it's
true.
just wow. You know, that just shows the potential that's going on here. It's huge. It's massive, and that's something you could start. And like we said, learn little by little, take it slow, and then you build up.
Yeah, you know, the main key being, I guess everyone's at different points in their entrepreneurial career. You know, if you're looking at getting started, I think that this is really, really good advice, and we hope it hits home.
Yeah.
Start small. You don't need to come over and be like, okay, I'm gonna move to China. I'm gonna take China. Okay, you should be looking at it. China's got really good opportunities for me in the future. It's not necessarily where I need to start, but it's where I need to be.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's hard to get started in China if you're not here learning about the culture. Because the longer you're here, the more you learn about, the bigger your network grows, the more opportunities you see in the market, the more it opens up to you, the more it's your playground. But it's not necessarily where your first business needs to start. Most importantly is you need to be here.
Yeah, 100% on the ground. That's the only way you can really, I mean, we're doing as much as we can on this through the elevator life, but this is where you really learn and experience everything we're talking about. And we personally believe, obviously, experience is more than being taught or, you know, listening to lectures or podcasts or what have you. They help a lot. But all these things, we're only able to share it because we went through all of this. And we think experience is the most valuable learning tool there is. So get out here, you know.
Exactly. You know, and I kind of want to go back a little bit too to not everyone else is in the same place. We see a lot of guys that are experienced entrepreneurs, and then they'll come to China. They've already made a lot of money. They'll come to China looking for an opportunity, you know, and they're doing it the right way. They're like, okay, you know, I'm kind of set up. Let's go to China, check out the environment, learn about it, because I know I'm gonna see some problem that I'm gonna be able to solve, some void in the marketplace that I'm gonna be able to fill, you know. And so I you know, we want to get across the point to a lot of the guys that haven't done a lot, the guys that think they haven't succeeded, you know, to really high expectations, is that it's okay to start at zero.
Yeah, oh, of course.
There is no barriers to entry to China. Okay, China's open. You don't have to be doing anything. We weren't when we came over here, and you don't even have to get into importing. There's opportunities all over the place.
Yeah, my brother, I remember, told me, he's an entrepreneur as well in the stateside, and he just told me, you know, like, I think it was like 96% of 5 things is, God, I forget, like 480% of nothing. You know, like you never complete anything. He's like, you focus, that's a thing in China, there's a lot of opportunities, you focus on that opportunity, might not be the biggest, or might not be the one that can make you the most money at first, but you get the learning, you get the confidence and the experience, and that's what you need here to succeed.
Yeah, that is a really good reminder too, if you're coming over here. It's sometimes hard to keep your site small, you know, but you should keep that in the back of your mind. That's the most important thing, is to get a few successes under your belt as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because, you know, especially if you're new in a market like this, it can chew you up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you're trying 4 things at once, you're probably not going to succeed.
No way.
Okay.
We tried a few things at once.
Yeah, a few failures, you know.
Everybody was everywhere, and it was trying to keep him up on this, he trying to keep me up on that, and it ended not well. So, but thankfully we stuck it out, so.
Yeah, guys, like he's saying, everyone fails somewhere along the way, but it's good just to get started, to be in the right marketplace where you can fail the right way.
Yeah.
Like kind of like I'm saying, we failed when we were leaning the wrong way, and I guess, I don't know, the wrong way. A lot of people have succeeded in those kind of businesses, but we fell forward, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We use those opportunities to kind of get us over here into the marketplace. And we've seen a lot of other guys do the same thing. Either they've got e-commerce states. Our buddy JP.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got an e-commerce store in Canada.
Yeah.
He's making good money. He's living off of it. But he knew the opportunity was out in China. We don't know necessarily exactly what he's planning. I know he's got some stuff up his sleeve. He's now moved to Shenzhen.
Yeah.
We'll have to get in contact with him. But he used that first business as a launch pad to move himself over to China because he wants to start something bigger. Okay? So even for him, he was a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay? But he had his set on China. And that's one of those guys that I'm talking about who's seen success before. So I guess I would be kind of more talking about the guys that haven't seen success before. It's still okay to come over here, start on a small idea, even if it's not in China. Work on that while you're in China, learning about China.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because like it could be something not even in China, but as long as you're here on the ground, starting to understand this business culture or the way things are done, that's that knowledge that's like, I mean, I guess priceless.
Yeah.
To be able to develop, if you eventually want to do something in China, the only way you can learn is really by putting in the hours, by being here.
I think that's in any business. I know a lot of people talk about the 10,000 hour principle.
No, yeah.
Where you can't be perfect at something until you spent 10,000 hours doing it.
That was Outliers, right?
Yeah, I've read the book. I think it was Outliers, actually. Yeah. A lot of entrepreneurs talk about that concept as well. Man, have we been 10,000 hours here? Of course, yeah, we have to.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
Regardless, we're still experts. No, but
we're learning.
Yeah, we continue to learn every day, and that's why it's great, because what we learn, we continue to share with you guys. So.
But like, China's like anything. It's like any business or any kind of skill. If you want to get good at it, if you want to get into it, you got to spend the time. And not only China, obviously any other country that you're going to go look into.
Yeah.
The biggest point, guys, obviously this has been kind of a rant episode. We kind of like these. We kind of enjoy these because we film these when we get these kind of episodes, when you have a spur of the moment topic come up.
It's like, we should share this.
We should share this, yeah. Main point being, don't let there be barriers to entry. Don't be like, oh, I can't start that kind of business right now. I need to save up more money to be able to do that. No, I'm not that big enough. I can't do that. Because that's simply not true.
Yeah, the second,
nor recommended.
Yeah, the second you start building over here, the second you start, I guess, logging your hours, the sooner you're going to be closer to your goal to actually doing something here.
Exactly, because obviously we both don't recommend going out trying to get investment for a product that you're going to try and ship into China.
Yeah.
Without knowing about China. That kind of big venture isn't something we recommend pursuing in the beginning. Yeah. Start small.
And then get big.
Yeah, it's those small successes that will lead you to where you need to be and to the right venture that's going to be huge in the future.
100%, yeah. Huge market, huge potential, huge opportunity. Just stay focused and then, gradually grow.
Yep. Yeah, buddy. All right, we ranted.
Yeah. Finished. Take this advice for sure.
All right, man, we'll have a safe trip to the States.
We'll do, and maybe we'll do we probably won't do enough. I'm only gone 6 days.
So he's gone 6 days. In the next week or so, we're gonna be filming some pretty cool interviews while you're gone.
Definitely, and you're gonna be in Hong Kong, right?
Probably. I'll be in Hong Kong early next week. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We'll figure something out. But anyways, yeah, stay posted. Pay attention to Twitter, definitely, because we're gonna be posting some cool photos on there about what we're doing in both of our respective areas. And yeah, just stay in touch. Keep us up to date, and let us know whenever we can help you with any small opportunity or any big opportunity. That's what we're here for.
All right, guys, it's Wednesday, so still got half the week to go. Let's get some stuff done.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.